In a village where the baobab trees whispered secrets to the wind, there lived a girl named Amara, whose parents had died when she was very young. With nowhere else to go, she was taken in by a wealthy woman everyone called Madam Foluke. Madam Foluke's compound was the finest in the village, with walls painted white as egret feathers and a roof that gleamed in the sun. But inside those walls, Amara's life was filled with sorrow. From dawn until the stars appeared, she worked without rest, fetching water from the distant stream, pounding yam until her arms ached, sweeping every corner of the large compound, and cooking meals she was never allowed to taste. Madam Foluke had a daughter of her own, Jumoke, who was as lazy as she was spoiled. While Amara worked, Jumoke sat in the shade eating sweet mangoes and laughing at the orphan girl's ragged clothes. One day, as Amara carried a heavy pot on her head to the stream, she met an old woman sitting by the path. The woman's back was bent like a question mark, and her wrapper was torn and faded. "Child," the old woman called out, "I am so thirsty. Might you spare me some water?" Though Amara knew she would be beaten if she returned late, she immediately set down her pot and gave the old woman water to drink. She even helped her to the shade of an acacia tree, and shared the small piece of cassava she had saved for her own meal. The old woman's eyes sparkled like stars. "You have a golden heart, child. What is your name, and why do you look so tired?" Amara told her story, and the old woman listened carefully. When Amara finished, the old woman touched her cheek gently and said, "Go now to the stream. Fill your pot, but do not look into the water until you return home." Confused but obedient, Amara did as she was told. When she reached the stream, she filled her pot without looking down, though she heard the most beautiful singing coming from the water. All the way home, the pot seemed lighter than air. When she finally set the pot down in Madam Foluke's compound and looked inside, she gasped. The water had turned to liquid silver, shimmering and precious. Madam Foluke came running at her cry and nearly fainted at the sight. "Where did you get this?" she demanded, her eyes glittering with greed. Amara told her about the old woman by the path. Immediately, Madam Foluke ordered her daughter Jumoke to go to the stream with a pot. "Find that old woman and do exactly as Amara did," she commanded. "We will be richer than the king himself." Jumoke walked lazily to the stream, and sure enough, she found the old woman still sitting by the path. "Girl," the old woman said, "I am thirsty. Might you give me some water?" Jumoke wrinkled her nose. "Get it yourself, you dirty old thing. I have important business at the stream." She walked past without a second glance. But as she walked, she thought about the silver water and realized she might need to be kind to get it. She turned back and roughly thrust her pot at the old woman. "Here, drink quickly and tell me what to do." The old woman drank and said quietly, "Fill your pot at the stream, but do not look into the water until you return home." Jumoke ran to the stream and filled her pot, but the singing from the water was so beautiful that she couldn't resist. She looked down and saw her own reflection, but it was changing, becoming uglier and uglier. She screamed and looked away, running home as fast as she could. When she burst into the compound and set down her pot, Madam Foluke rushed over eagerly. But instead of silver, The pot was filled with snakes and scorpions that scattered across the compound, sending everyone running and screaming. The commotion was so great that the village elders came to investigate. When they heard the full story from the neighbors, who had witnessed Madam Foluke's cruelty to Amara over the years, they were angry. "This girl has suffered enough under your roof," the eldest said. "She will come and live with my family, where she will be treated as a daughter should be." And so Amara left Madam Foluke's compound forever. In the elder's home, she was loved and cared for, and she used the silver water to help others in the village. She grew up to be a woman of great wisdom and kindness, never forgetting the lesson the old woman had taught her. As for Madam Foluke and Jumoke, they spent many days cleaning snakes and scorpions from their compound. Some say that on quiet evenings, they can still hear the old woman's laughter carried on the wind, reminding them that cruelty plants seeds that grow into bitter fruit, while kindness plants seeds that grow into gardens of gold. And this is why the elders say, "The hand that gives is the hand that receives," and wickedness returns to the house where it was born.